we are back on Boond Soch ki ttalk train of thoughts with another episode with brand guru Jagdeep Kapoor. Sir, congratulations for 26th anniversary of an Samshika consultancy. In fact, we have seen the largest international and the national brands. The person behind all the brand creator is none other than brand guru Jagdeep Kapoor. Sir, can you please share some of your experiences, the number of clients, what we talking in terms of a Godrej, Hall, Saridon, Reliance, Blue Dot, FedEx, then Fruity, Appy, all the relevant brands which are there. Can you share some consultancy experience with our target audience, please?
So, as I said, as an employee, I worked with a number of brands, and as a brand marketing consultant over the last 26 years, more than about 989 brands we've worked with. And so I'll give you a couple of experiences which is very interesting. One of the elements which I was very clear about when I started was that I will be going to the market every Saturday, but I will not be going to any client's office. So it's very simple. Now, I don't know, it's not part of strategy, but just maybe laziness. All clients, whether it be a US client, a Dubai client, a UK client, a Kolkata client, a Delhi client, all would come to my office at Powai. And thank God now we have a very large office, and we have a half a floor, and we have our own conference rooms, and we have our own consultancy rooms, and our training centers. Everything is there. So everything is that they would come down. Of course, last 18 months it's been consultancy online, which is digital. But prior to that, the first 25 years has been all at my office, and that's the way. And in fact, the idea came from a client only. They said it's better that you be there, and we will come across. And so whether it be a team which comes in, or whether it's the directors who come in, because then it's dedicated, focused. Otherwise, in their office, sometimes some disturbance happens, or they are busy with something else. So a few principles that I follow are: the first thing is that as far as possible, we do not take a conflict of interest, and we'd like to focus on one category, one brand at one particular point of time. And the second thing is that as far as I'm concerned, I'm there in every meeting. I'm personally involved in every meeting. So that dedication, and we also would like the top management from their side also to be there,
to be part of that
in the meeting, because then decisions we made. Of course, one interacts with the lowest sales guy also.
Correct.
That's not a problem, but the fact of the matter is that it has to be done in that particular manner. The third thing, which is very, very critical, is that we are in a position to do an integrated brand marketing strategy. So if someone says you only do this portion, then one may not be interested.
Correct.
Because if you come to my garage and you say just repair the steering wheel or just make the steering wheel,
correct,
but something is wrong with the engine. So I always tell that both of us are investing. The client may be investing money, but I'm investing my reputation. So it's equally important that both of us have the stake which is together.
Right.
So we take up an integrated brand marketing strategy, right from the brand namkaran to the brand positioning, the segmentation, the pricing, the packaging, the communication, the advertising, the promotion, the sales, the distribution, the customers, the complete integrated brand marketing strategy.
Entire holistic approach.
Yeah. Because then only it works out. You can't have your hand being manufactured somewhere else and your leg manufactured and then joining. It doesn't come out. And over a period of time, we have our own associate concern, which also contributes to the other elements, which could be an IPR, which could be communication, which could be all the other elements of advertising. Now, what is important is that it should be done in a manner which is well thought out. For example, I give you an example of a brand. We had a very nice set of people, okay, and they came in, a group of Marwadi and Gujarati businessmen. There were 5 directors at that time when they came in. It's almost about 18-20 years ago. So when they came in and they were basically trading in Logitech, keyboard and mouse, etc. So they came in and said that, we would like to have a brand building and the entire thing done. So right from the brand Namkaran, we gave, the brand Namkaran given was eyeball.
Okay.
And right from the positioning of your eyeball view, our technology view, to telling them to focus on computer peripherals rather than desktops and others. So the brand got built over a period of time, right up to, say, about 1,300 crores and very, very strong brand building part of it, and each and every. In this, there's an interesting one, wherein, of course, we do sometimes use just credibility. Sometimes we use credibility with celebrity. Like we use Kareena Kapoor, we use Hrithik Roshan for various ones. And there was a tablet which was launched, Eyeball Slide, and then they have a huge amount of peripherals which are there, right from mouse, keyboard, etc., etc., etc. And very large. The brand grew from a very large level, almost like a startup to a state. One of their product categories was speakers. And the speakers were not moving to that extent. So I gave them the brand strategy that let's get rid of metal and plastic speakers. Let's focus only on wood speakers. And I recommended that let's have full wood speakers. Okay. And the reason was, one day I was sitting at my desk and I was just tapping my desk, and I realized that all good music comes from musical instruments. And musical instruments, all of them are made of wood. Guitar is made of wood, flute is made of wood, tabla is made of wood, and violin is made of wood. So why shouldn't the speaker also be wood? So they liked that strategy. And so we launched full wood speakers, eyeball full wood speakers. And the positioning I gave was very simple but strategic, and which took the brand to a different level. The positioning was eyeball full wood speakers, wood sound, good sound. And that went into the mind and heart of the consumers, and it took to a different level. So similarly, eyeball slide, enjoy the ride, etc., etc. Similarly, if we look at it, there was a wonderful company, it's still there, called Relaxo Footwear. And Relaxo Footwear, the entire brand building of Relaxo in terms of it's the Dopatti ka chappal, flip-flops, or Sparks, their Ked shoes, or Flight, which was casual wear, etc. So all that was strategized and put together, and today the brand is at a very, very... What is it? And they would fly down from Delhi. And so whether it be Mother Dairy from Delhi or Relaxo from Delhi, or whether it be a Cherry brand which was created as the first filter cherry, and so all those with great depth it was done. And the important thing is it should be done in an integrated manner. So along the way I used my modules. For example, when we do brand building, I use my 9 brand shastras, right? So it begins with the need shastra, which is brand category growth. Then the seed shastra, the seed of an idea, the positioning, the brand number. Then the heed shastra, paying attention means awareness. Then comes the deed shastra, availability, trials. Then comes feed shastra, which is repeats. Then comes speed shastra. You start spreading and distributing and growing. Then comes a speed breaker called creed shastra. The biggest thing you have to understand in a brand is trust. You cannot allow the trust to be broken. That is why credibility, creed shastra. Then growing market share is the breed shastra. And finally, if you exceed the expectation of the consumer, the consumer will exceed your profit expectation. That is basically the Exceed Shastra. So from Need Shastra to Exceed Shastra, 9 branch Shastras, from Need to Exceed, then you succeed. And so there is a whole methodology, and these are all intellectual property right, trademark, copyright registered, every part of it. The other thing interesting is when I'm actually doing it, like you mentioned at the beginning in the first episode, the brand mantra which I wrote, "Jo dikhta hai wo bikta hai," trademark is mine. That is for visibility.
Correct.
Okay, the visibility could be through digital, it could be through TV, it could be through at the local level, at the retail level, it could be through newspaper, it could be through any media, radio, etc. The other part was, "Jo milta hai wo khilta hai," that is availability. If you are not available,
correct.
And the third most important, which is relationship marketing. So if I give a 3-hour lecture on relationship marketing, people may understand, may not understand.
Correct.
But I make it into a brand mantra. So the brand mantra for relationship marketing is Sambandh, nahi to Sabbandh. So the important thing is it has to enter the mind and heart. And that what. The other thing is a lot of people get scared to build brands. They say, bahut zyada kharcha, lot of expense, lot of... So no. My brand mantra is Kam kharcha, zyada charcha. It can be done strategically. So there are various ways in doing it, and along the journey in brand building with clients, it could be an agricultural client. We're working with an agriculture client, very large. Deepak Fertilizers launched a brand called CropTech, and or it could be an industrial product client, okay, or it could be an FMCG, it could be a garment client, it could be an IT client, it could be a food client, it could be any of them. It could be a medical services client. It could be. So across, it could be a builder, it could be a developer. If it is done in the correct manner, right from need to exceed, you're able to build a brand in the mind and heart. And one more thing, you have to do it honestly.
Yes.
You have to do it in a manner, क्योंकि brand building सच्चाई की बुनियाद पे खड़ा रहता है. You can do it interestingly.
Correct.
Okay, it can be interesting. It can have something which catches the attention. It's important, but it has to be based on trust. Because my final brand mantra I'd like to tell you is that the entire brand building process, whether for my clients or myself or whether in my career, all across, is made of 2 components. One is Vishwas, which is the consumer must have Vishwas on your brand. And one is Atma Vishwas, which is what you should have with you. So it is a game of Vishwas and Atma Vishwas ka mishran. And that is how you are able to do it diligently and systematically. But it's not important only to do strategy. That is the conceptual part. It is equally important to do implementation and monitor that.
That's a tough part.
Yes, so that has to also be done, because then only the strategy gets converted through practical experience implementation. Correct. Then you get success.
Correct.
And ultimately, the brand building has to have metrics, measures. Brand awareness growth, brand trials growth, brand repeats growth, brand sales growth, brand market share growth, and brand profit growth. Brands must not only make noise, they must also make profit.
Make profit also. Okay. I think, so how does the creative juices flow in your mind? That's the reason we call as a brand guru Jagdeep Kapoor, how he simplifies the things, how he connects at the bottom and how he connects to customers, and how he gives a 360-degree approach towards to the brand and branding aspects. So how does the creative juices flow in your mind, like, connecting? And I'm sure, like, it's if I want to talk in terms of branding for a particular organization, I'll come to you because you simplify the things in a way which connects to the right target audience. Like
in Punjabi, it could be say Rabdi Mehr hai. In Hindi, you could say Bhagwan ki deen hai. In English, you could say it's God's gift. It's basically, I think the real thing is, if you get involved fully,
Correct.
If you get immersed fully
Correct.
into something,
Then the idea comes.
this was told by a client of mine. And the client, this question which you asked, the client also asked. We have a client in Surat, and you would have heard of a diamond merchant who, for his sales force, gives cars and who gives flats and he gives from Surat.
Yeah.
So that's my client, and it's our client. It's been now more than 18 years with them. It's called Hare Krishna Group in Surat. And the brand we built for them is Kisra Diamond Jewelry. Incidentally, whatever my clients we sell in most of the categories, all sales is done 100% advance payment. Okay, so it is, so in jewelry industry, no one would get is 90 days credit for distributors, but we set it up where till today they get 100% advance from the market, the only ones. So we built that, and the whole idea was that Kisra Diamond Jewelry, Jagao Vishwas Pyar Ka, Pao Vishwas Parivar Ka. So the whole thing was built on that particular basis, and that is how it was done. So and we built that up. They are Dholakiyas, and Savji Bhai Dholakiya, Ghacham Bhai Dholakiya, and all that. And so the interesting thing which was there was that he also asked the same question. And then he told all his management. And he says, the reason it happens like this from Kapoor is he gets fully involved, fully immersed. And the word he used was, uske andar leen ho jate, doob jate. Then automatically it comes out. And I think that is the right way to do it. You do it 100%, you get fully involved. Don't get worried about the result. You may succeed, you may not succeed. If something goes wrong, you can always go through the process and understand where and correct the course. There's no problem in that. But not being able to make that attempt or not getting fully involved, you could actually miss out. Even 99% is not important. It has to be 100%.
One thing what we have seen in episode 1 also, where like even while you were working, it was 100% at time, and the efforts what one needs to put in, like that same practices had become your habit, and now even if for your clients, like you sink into their relevant problems and you come up with some beautiful strategies which is there. That's a wonderful. That's the reason.
No, I'm very grateful to all my clients that they listen to my crazy ideas and they get as involved with me, passionate with me, and their faith. In fact, I want to thank them for their faith and involvement, because when they come, they said, "Okay, आपकी फीस के अलावा क्या लेके आए?" I said, उसके अलावा खाली 2 चीज लेके आओ. One is faith and one is involvement. वो लेके आओगे तो फिर साथ में काम करेंगे.
Correct. So many a times, being into a consultancy, like and the decision maker who comes and involved in part of all the discussion becomes more easier. But in today's time also, it will see in an organization where the hierarchy is there. So what are the challenges over there in hierarchy?
Well, it's like this. First of all, the owner could be there, the top management could be there, other middle management could be there, the lower could be there. One of the important thing is that you need to become a part of their team.
Correct.
That's very, very important.
Correct.
It takes time.
It takes time
for them to accept you and for you to get accepted.
Correct.
But if you keep the ego aside and you become a part of the team, and as long as they also realize and you also realize that actually you're working for the common objective. We want this brand to succeed. We want this brand to grow, top line, bottom line, awareness, trials, all the metrics which I said. Then it works with talmel.
Correct.
My brand mantra is ke kaam karo talmel ke sath.
Correct.
Kaam mat karo blackmail ke sath. Okay, so ego causes a problem. There are 2 dushmans in brand building. One is ahankar, which is ego. And second is alaspan, which is laziness. Laziness for implementation, ego for strategy. So basically, ahankar or alaspan, ego and laziness, if it's kept aside and you become a part of their team, then, I mean, like for example, today we are, I've been dealing with almost 11.5 lakh sales marketing people all across and interacting. And also so many clients and interaction. what is important is that we are working for the common objective.
Correct.
So it's quite possible that maybe an idea which has come from the client may be good for the brand. And at that point, it doesn't make sense to get into ego.
Correct.
But supposing you feel that the idea or the strategy, which is good for the client, when the client is not realizing it, and it needs to be done,
Correct.
then I will go after it again and again and again.
Correct.
Even at the risk of getting sacked, but I will make sure that it will, like the simple thing of advance payment.
Correct.
I am very clear that you have to get advance payment from the market. You can't be giving credit.
Correct.
So some clients say, no, it's not practical, it's not possible. So he said, don't worry, we will tell you how to do it and we'll be able to do it, but that's good for you. And so over a period of time, they realize. And we have clients, as I told you now, there are clients with us since 26 years. There are clients with us since 18 years.
Adibal, we'll just go and count the number of brands which have created more than 900 or approximately touching to 1,000 brands which are there. Yes.
No, but I'm grateful to the entire set of clients for having faith and having the patience with me and also my family for having the patience with me, because so much time goes into it's like a brand doctor, you know. Kabhi you get a call in the night at 3 o'clock, and sometimes when you're traveling abroad you get a call. They don't worry about what time it is, but we always respond.
See, many a times, like if for curing factor, you have to go to the doctor, like, you know.
Yes.
When we talk in terms of brand and branding aspects, this brand guru Jagdeep Kapoor, like, you know, that's the reason we say, like, you know, where there's 100% involvement, I think I'm sure the things are going to be different.
Right.
So how do you create a leadership brand like?
See, what happens is, I give you an example. You heard of a gentleman called Mickey Mehta, right? Okay, so that brand building was done by us. Okay, he was working at Oberoi in the health club, and then he's a great swimmer. So we built his brand Marathon Works Swimming, and over a period of time as a fitness guru, and today he's 360 degrees, and so in that particular field. And gaining leadership in that particular field, there is a way of going about it. There's a system, there's a discipline, and so if you want to get a leadership brand built up, first you have to have thought leadership. Okay, your thinking should be of leadership, which cuts the clutter, and you are able to come up with things which are good for the consumer and satisfaction, but don't get worried about that no one else has done it before.
Correct.
Okay, and that's another thing which people get scared. So if you're a leader, you should not get worried whether you're a pioneer. Initially, everyone will laugh at you.
Correct.
Then they will make fun of you. Then they'll ridicule you.
Correct.
Ultimately, they'll accept you.
They'll follow you, accept and follow you also. Like.
So a leader has to have that thought leadership to be able to take and build that brand. Because without that, you can't. Otherwise, you're a follower.
Yeah, correct. And you have to be a leader. Like if you're talking in terms of brand, how you differentiate from the others.
Sure.
That's what brand and branding does.
Sure.
Like. Yeah. So have the brand dynamics changed over a period of time since a couple of 3 decades back when you have started, like when you were working now? How the shift have taken place now?
I think what has happened is that the consumer has become a little more discerning, a little more demanding, and the consumer has been able to choose in a better manner now. Correct. And therefore you need to raise your standards. You need to give better quality of service, better quality of products, because Indian consumers have become world-class consumers. Correct. So you also have to come up with your brand, your service, and everything which is world-class. The other thing is the consumers have become knowledgeable. We've just launched a brand, the diamond brand I told you about just 18 years. We just launched a silver brand a year ago. You see, most people don't know that there are various grades of silver. People know about gold.
Correct, but also
people know about 24 karat, 22 karat, 18 karat, 14 karat. But we don't know about silver, right? But silver also has different grades.
Correct.
So there's a grade which is sterling silver, which is 92.5. There's a grade which is 80. and there's grade which is 68. So many a times consumers get cheated because the 68 has been given at the price of 92.5 sterling silver. They don't realize it. And so we made sure that we've launched a mother brand called Lakshmi, and then we made 3 sub-brands. Lakshmi Devyami, which is 92.5, Premiyami, which is 80, and 68, which is Shubhyami, all under the mother brand. And the positioning is should be, and basically build that up to a very large extent. So now the consumer knows that if I'm buying this is the grade, and this is what I'm paying for, and I'm buying this. And suddenly, out of nowhere, in hardly, say, 10 months, 700 jewelers have started keeping the brand. And it's growing like no one's business because people wanted to know the truth. And here you are being able to educate consumers. So consumers have become more discerning. They want education. They want the truth. They have world-class standards. So that is the change which has happened.
Awareness level is there.
Yes. And the other thing which has happened is that Indian consumers, if I would segment them in a very simple manner, I would say is there is one set of consumers which are the aspirational consumers. They perspire, they work hard, they may or may not be able to afford. But the biggest growth now is the aspirational consumer.
Aspiration.
And as human beings, what do? We perspire to aspire.
Correct.
हम मेहनत करते हैं ताकि आगे बढ़े. So the aspirational brands which are there, and aspiration doesn't mean expensive brands. A person who is walking to work, his aspiration may be that I would like to buy a cycle.
To next level,
The cycle guy may have an aspiration, I want a scooter or I want a motorcycle.
Correct.
The motorcycle may have an aspiration that I want a second-hand car or I want a small car. So aspiration is moving to the next level. And that's where India is going. And therefore, they would like to be educated. It's better to be transparent. Tell them the truth. Let them choose. Because it's very simple. Now, the consumer has 2 things. He has a voice and he has a choice.
He has a choice also.
So he's got voice and choice both. That is the major change.
Correct. Okay. Beautiful. So you have created so many successful brands over a period of time. Over 3 decades, you have come across various brands which are there. Which brand creation gives you the maximum? I know it's a sensitive question, since whatever the creation of the brand which you have done in a simplified way, and it touches the minds and the heart of customers. But which is a brand which gave you maximum satisfaction?
All I've enjoyed, whether it be a Fevicol, or whether it be an Eyeball, or whether it be a Kisna, or whether it be a Mother Dairy, or whether it be it's all. Something which has, whether it be a Monjani's, whether it be a Navni, it's been great. It's been something which is absolutely because each one is relevant to a particular audience, to a particular need.
Correct.
And therefore there is no standard vanilla solution. It is to be thought through, understood, and then brought in. So therefore, if you ask me, each of them have been satisfying and has been and it's wonderful when the interaction takes place with the client, with the customer, with the consumer to a very large extent. So if you ask me, it would be that each of them has been a different experience, and it is a joy, and one gets fully involved in that. And the best thing is that when the brand takes off, when you get the repeats, when you see while working in the market that this brand which you built is being consumed by a consumer in front of your eyes, and someone is buying it and someone is consuming it, then it gives you a different kind of a thrill. And that's it. Also, Dr. Chima, in ttalk I must mention that all this learning, experience, knowledge, I try to condense it, and since the last 35 years that I've been teaching at Jamnalal Bajaj, first year MBA, marketing management, and second year MBA, brand management. And I felt that let me put it down in books.
Correct.
So there's a trilogy which is called 24 brand mantras, 12 brand mantras for the mind and 12 for the heart.
Correct.
Then there is 9 brand shastras, right from need to exceed.
So it's an excellent. I will come to your writing various books which you have written, right from mantras, astras, segmentation, brands, 31 prescriptions which are there. When we talk in terms of an Samshika marketing consultancy, they win a various successful brand. And when we talk in terms of brand and branding aspects, if you want to grow your business, Samshika Consultancy is a right one. I'm sure brand guru Jagdeep Kapoor and his team, they are pretty strong. They give the 100% as for the brand and branding which is concerned. So for next episode with brand guru Jagdeep Kapoor, stay tuned to ttalk, Boond Soch ki. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much.